start panicking because you're about to go on stage to play some music or deliver a speech. You really want to back out now, but it's too late. You regret even signing up in the first place. You want to throw up, your heart's racing, and you feel like your legs are going to give out. You imagine messing up in front of all of these people and getting ridiculed in front of the crowd. Sound familiar? Today, I wanted to touch on this fear that's so familiar to most humans: stage fright. On my channel, you usually see me singing acoustic covers of rock and grunge songs, as well as react to new albums, or even give musician tips on creating covers or music of their own. But I've been hiding a pretty big secret from you guys. I was actually crippled by terrible stage fright up until very recently, and I wanted to share with you how I quickly got over it in 8 weeks. So if you want to know how I did it, keep watching. If you're a performer of any sort or a public speaker, you're probably very familiar with stage fright. I used to play shows in front of hundreds of people, even thousands of people as a teenager. But as I left high school and left my band, occasions to play live actually became pretty rare. And next thing you know, for the past 7 years, I only played twice in front of a live audience. At my lowest point, I had a full-blown anxiety attack while doing a presentation in front of about 25 coworkers on Zoom. It was pretty rough. The very first thing I did to get over my stage fright was to join an improv troupe. The best way to combat stage fright is to just embrace the unpredictable. I decided to join improv because 1, I knew it was going to make me uncomfortable, and 2, I knew I was going to have a lot of opportunity to be in front of a lot of people every week. I joined an 8-week program with a group of about 12 people. We met once a week for 3 hours and learned how to just manage improv scenes together. We laughed a lot, we felt ridiculous, and learned to embrace failure. I remember even presenting myself in front of the group the first class made me super nervous. Looking ridiculous doesn't matter. Actually, it could be really funny. Improv's really great because it develops a few muscles that are really important to performers: spontaneity and adaptability. When doing an improv scene, you need to think on your feet. There's no thinking ahead because you literally can't. And it's about collaboration as well. You want to help out your partner and your partner wants to help you out. Especially when you first start, you make a ton of mistakes. But you learn that that's fine. It happens to literally everybody. Improv is a really super accepting and supportive community. It really wants to help people grow. After finishing our 8 weeks, my improv troupe and I did a 45-minute showcase in front of our friends and family and strangers. It was all of our first time together and we were all equally nervous and excited. I literally went from being completely frozen by fear to doing a 45-minute showcase in front of strangers after 8 weeks. I think that's pretty incredible. The only way to deal with stage fright is to get up and turn it into energy that will help you. Paul McCartney. My next point is to start participating in open mics. So I started going to this open mic called The Drunken Poet in Melbourne. It was a first come first serve model, so you show up at a certain time, sign up, and you're on the list. For some open mics, you have to message them before to be put on the list. Open mics are a mixed bag of talent. You have experienced musicians coming to play just for fun, and you also have beginners. It doesn't matter what level you're at, it's just about getting up there, and the crowd knows that, and they're really encouraging. You usually have about a 3-song slot, so 15 minutes. Just a little bonus tip, I would recommend that you put at least 1 cover in there, especially when you're first starting out. Seeing people engage with you and sing back lyrics that you're singing gives you a really big confidence boost. My next point would be to play with other people. I realized that there's a lot of power in numbers. It allows you to share the spotlight with other musicians and share the pressure as well. Sometimes I would have a drummer, a bassist, and join me up on stage. It took the pressure off of me because the crowd had other people to look at as well. If you could find a band or collaborate with other musicians, it allows you to share the responsibility and eases the pressure of performing alone. Now, here's a valuable lesson I learned along the way. We all make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. Just accept it. It's really crucial to try not to judge yourself when you do make a mistake. I know it's easier said than done, but the better you become at this, the easier your journey will be. Embrace mistakes and self-compassion. So one of the first times I performed at an open mic, the battery in my guitar had died, so I had to play with my guitar mic'd up. The feedback from my guitar was interfering with my singing microphone, and so I was getting a lot of feedback, and my guitar was even rumbling and shaking from the feedback. Obviously, that wasn't fun. I sang like shit that night. My focus was on my guitar and the technical difficulties that were happening around me. But here's the thing. As it was happening, I decided to not let it bother me. I was just saying, all right, this is not my best moment. I'm gonna play here again next week. it'll probably be better. Once you can start developing that sort of mentality, it really gets a lot easier. Every musician is going to go through a catastrophe on stage. These are all opportunities for growth, and they happen to literally everyone. And lastly, remember this, the audience is on your side. In fact, they're usually very supportive and understanding. So why don't you just let them in on your nervousness? Talk about it. Say it on stage that you're nervous if it's your first time playing, or that you're just a nervous person. Especially at open mics, a lot of people who go there are musicians themselves, and they've all been through exactly what you're going through. The first time I did an open mic, I told the organizer that I was like freaking out. I was very nervous. He was super supportive. He actually shared with me that he hears that story every single week. Just knowing that I wasn't alone in this process made me feel so much better. So don't be afraid to communicate how you're feeling to the audience even. So there you have it. That's how I beat stage fright in 8 weeks. It starts with taking small steps and putting yourself out there. Start going to open mics. Join an improv group. That's probably the biggest thing I could tell you to do. Be kind to yourself along the way. You're not going to be a rock star right away, but you're going to get better, and it's not going to take as much time as you think. So go out there and start playing. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps me out. And please share your own experience on conquering stage fright, or where you are in this process at the moment, in the comments below. I'm really curious to know what your story is. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.